Alright, what's going on, everybody? C-Wing here with another video. Oh, does that sound awkward? And this one I actually brought up during my chat on my Twitch channel, shameless plug there, and one of the viewers, out of all the categories I had brought up for future videos, he said, I really want to see that one. And that's for you. This is for you. These are the 7 games that I was wrong about. Through one means or another, there were games that I dismissed. Either it was initial gameplay or it was hype about the game. I just kind of dismissed them, and I'm like, you know, that's just not for me. And by hook or by crook, I ended up going back to the game, and I ended up really loving it. Sometimes it took 1 try, sometimes it took 2 tries, sometimes it took 4 tries, but eventually I jumped on the bandwagon. So here are the 7 games that made me realize that I was wrong. I guess we'll start off with Fortnite. I mean, there's so many where I sit there and I go, this would be a perfect way to start off, but with Fortnite, I immediately dismissed it as a kid's game, maybe like a cash grab, trying to go up against PlayerUnknown Battleground, and then the super colorful, it wasn't like super colorful, it had like really weird neon colors, and I actually hated it, and I hated the fact that you'd play the game, or from what I would see, is you'd play the game and they'd build a house in front of you. Where's the fun in that? You get somebody dead to rights and they build a house in front of you. I thought that was the weirdest combination. So kiddie game, house building in front of you, I just was turned off by the color scheme, dismissed it. But what won me over, believe it or not, was Zero Build in Indiana Jones. Now let me get into why I fell in love with Zero Build. For those of you that don't know, there's a little game called Call of Duty Blackout, and that was my favorite competitive shooter battle royale game. It was so much fun, and it was so vast, and the land was so colorful, and there were so many things just kind of walking around there, like zombies and just NPCs and stuff like that. I thought Treyarch was onto something really big there. And of course, just like Call of Duty, Treyarch, Activision does, they pull the plug on it and they put something else that's inferior to the product, which is Warzone. Fight me on it. I'll go to my grave saying that Blackout is 1,000,000 times better than Warzone, but I digress. They got rid of it, so I wanted to play something that felt very similar. And then when I tried Fortnite Zero Build to get Indiana Jones, it played just like frickin' Blackout. And the thing that won me over the most was the missions to get Indiana Jones were so faithful to the lore. I told my friend Sean, I'm like, dude, you have to play this. And so we go in there and we play it. He was just like, this is amazing. I'm like, I know, right? I'm like, doesn't this remind you of Blackout? And we were just both kind of blown away at how faithful to Blackout it was and how much it didn't feel like Fortnite. And I want to say, I think no build is the most popular mode. And then fast forward to now, like you've got the skins like Poison Ivy skin, if you know what I mean. You've got the Catwoman thing. Kit from Knight Rider. You've got a bunch of 80s icons. You've got Doc Brown and Marty McFly from Back to the Future in there. This is not just made for kids. I'm waiting for the Adam West Batmobile to go in there. And so I went from not being a fan to being a huge fan. I think I have over 100 skins. I have a wish list of people I want to see in there. I'm looking at you, Quagmire and Squidward, and Batmobile 66, Adam West Batman, and Adam West Batman while we're at it, and Robin, Burt Ward. I want that in there. I mean, there's just so many things you can do in it. And the one thing I can say I really like about Fortnite, and it almost went on my Desert Island games, was the fact that A, it's free, B, there's so many game modes in there. So there's like a Guitar Hero kind of thing, there's a Lego game, there's a race car game in there, and it's all for free. And they give you free content. Like the more you play, like you get stuff just on the regular battle pass. So Fortnite went from being a game I really didn't care about to being a game that I admire a lot. And I think it's a really important game because it's a popular game, it's cool, it's free, it gives kids a chance to play with their friends. I want to say you don't even need an online membership to the consoles. I think you can play Fortnite without having a subscription to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live or Nintendo. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that game is actually free to play in all aspects. You can play it just for free. So in that regard, it's a very important game. It's a very special game because it brings people together, and kids can play it with their friends, or families can play it together. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and I was very wrong about it. It's not just a kid's game. It's not just a builder shooter silly game. It's very cool, and yeah, happily wrong about it. Another game I was wrong about was Night Trap. Now, it wasn't, I didn't dismiss it because I was against adult rated content or whatever. I played Mortal Kombat, Mad Dog McCree back in the day, Eternal Champions. I Primal Rage, I had no problem with that kind of content. And I also didn't own a Sega CD, but I remember I was watching Entertainment Tonight and they had a preview for a game that Dana Plato was filming, and they showed Night Trap, and I was like, zombies with vacuum cleaners that suck your neck. I'm like, that's kind of weird. And then I remember it going to court and stuff like that, and I just kind of went, okay, it's a game for just shock value. I was like, I just kind of dismissed it. Whenever that company re-released Night Trap on all the consoles and PCs and stuff, I bought it, and I remember playing it on Steam, and I fell in love with that game. That game has so much freaking heart. It's so charming. It's silly and campy, which is missing in games nowadays. I love it. The music's good. The story's really cool. The one thing it kind of feels like to me is when I'm watching it and I'm playing it, I feel like it's a time machine. Like I'm looking at these people that are living their lives and I can interact with them. And I was just like, oh my god, I was so wrong about this game, because it's just, like I said, the thing that comes to mind is it's very charming. It's very campy. It's like a warm hug from an old friend. It's silly. You know, I was like, how did this get in the ESRB like debacle? Like this is nothing. It's silly and it's fun. And I like the characters. I'm talking about you, Sarah, the one at the very beginning with those green eyes. Oh my god. But I just had a lot of fun with it. So, and what's really cool, and it has a lot of depth. It has a lot of depth and a lot of strategy. You have to be like jet quick with like the timing. You can write it. I literally had a list written out on my computer with certain times and certain monitors that I had to be on to make sure that I was there to trap those vampire, bloodsucker, whoever they are, right? One of my favorite things to do is just to yeet them off the roof. And also they have like really cool kind of like fourth wall breaking things. So there's a guy, spoiler alert, I don't remember his name, but he takes the costume from one of the I think their name are augurs. He takes a costume from an augur and he puts it on. You can actually trap him and push him out of the building. It's funny. He's like, no, I'm one of you. I'm one of you. And you can trap him. And it's kind of cool. And Dana Plato, at the end of the game, you can actually trap her and drop her down the void. And it's a lot of fun. It's deeper than it has any right to. And if you look at the games it inspired, we're talking Five Nights at Freddy's plays just like it. Even, okay, I'm going to say DBD. At the end of the match, if you die and you switch to different survivors, it has the same kind of feel and mechanic that it did in Night Trap, where the scenes kind of connect, which I always thought was really cool. You can actually like watch certain scenes and connect, then you can follow a character going from room to room. But DBD, you can kind of switch the camera to different survivors and watch them get killed by the killer or running away. Night Trap, it's a very Night Trap-ish thing, and there's a game Double Switch that it inspired that game, another game with a lot of heart. So Night Trap was groundbreaking, it was charming, it was fun, it was deep, and yeah, I was so wrong about it, and I'm glad I was, because it's a lot of fun, and I play that game at least once a year. The next game, Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy III. Bear with me on this one. I want to say it was my freshman year of high school. And I remember my friend Chris Larson, shout out to you. We were in PE together, and he's like, dude, if you want to rent one of the best games ever made, Final Fantasy III. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I highly recommend it. So I go to Blockbuster, I rent the game. I have no idea what an RPG is. I had never really played an RPG. Of course, I'm playing on the other guy's record who had rented it before me, and this guy was like all the way to where Kefka's tower is. Like, I get my ass handed to me, and I'm just like, what is going on with this game? Like, what? I have to take turns? Like, what the hell? Magic? Like, I was just so thrown off by everything. I was completely turned off by the RPG genre because I didn't know what I was doing. I dove in the deep end first to try to see if I liked swimming, and I completely drowned. Wasn't until Super Mario RPG that got me to go, oh, okay, I get it. And then Final Fantasy VII to make me fall in love with the genre itself. And then fast forward to the Pixel remaster that got released on Steam. I played it, and it's damn good. It's real good. One of my favorite songs in any video game is the Serpent Trench. I love that. And I'm a sucker for working within a limitation but kind of exceeding it. Final Fantasy VI does that in spades. The opera scene, like I said, Serpent Trench. I really like the minecart thing, that pseudo 3D feel. I thought that was very clever. I love Kefka's theme. There's so many characters, and it's just so rich and deep. And I would say out of all the 8-bit to 16-bit Final Fantasies, 6 deserves all of its flowers. It's easily one of the best games on the system, one of the best RPGs out there. I would still, of course, put 7 there just because that was the first Final Fantasy that I played and beat. I'm one of those guys. I'm sorry, not sorry, but I did go back. I did go back and I played 6. It was very good, and I'm happy I was wrong about that. This one might surprise you guys. First and foremost, do you think I like horror movies? No, I hate them. I don't like horror movies. I don't watch horror movies. I get antsy when I watch them. I want to reach through the TV and rescue the people. Part of the reason why is because when I was 4 years old, my mom used to watch horror movies, and she would sit me in front of her and ask me to watch the scenes and say, tell mommy what happened, tell mommy what happened. And she made me, I remember I had to watch Psycho, the shower scene in Psycho, and I had to reenact it for my mom because she was too chicken to look at the screen, so she put me in front of her. A true story too, and it's weird because I technically was a sunscreen, but that's a true story. So I get very antsy, and I hate watching people get hurt and killed and stuff like that needlessly and stuff. I get very uncomfortable, and I think part of that's probably from being forced to watch horror movies when I was a kid, but I didn't want to. With that said, DBD. I was so wrong about DBD. I thought when I first saw it, I was watching Lisa Melambry or Lucy May play it, and back then I would watch Lucy May read from the phone book. I wouldn't care because she was just one of the most beautiful human beings I'd ever seen in my life. But I watched her play it. It was okay. A good friend of mine who I interviewed, Nat TV, she played it. I remember, I think she bought me the game, and I played a little bit of it. I hid in the corners. I didn't get it. And of course I got killed. And I was just like, oh, it's torture. I'm not into it, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward to, I want to say 2023. I decided to say, what the hey? I was wrong about Fortnite. Let me jump into some DBD. And my God, I was so wrong about it. It plays really cool. Once I got the mechanics down, I became addicted to it. People bag on the community, but I legit love the community. The people that I've run across in matches that come in and say good game and that are sweethearts and very nice. Like I've played it again for like 3-4 years. I've maybe run into 3 people that are toxic. There was one guy that was in a YouTuber's video for being notoriously toxic, and there's a video of him being super nice to me. So I thought the community is really great, and I've formed real life friendships with people that I've met playing DBD. I've played and am good friends with someone named Numaro-chan from Japan, Brain DBD from the UK. Holada, she's from Mexico. Like it's crazy the reach that this game has and the love that behavior puts into it. Like, so yeah, I like it. It's fun. And also I try to look at it through the lens of just being silly. I am an achievement hunter though, and I had to do all the killer stuff to get my 100%. I am currently in the top 0.001% of players in DBD who have all 303 achievements as of this recording. I have to do some ugly stuff, and I legit hate playing as killer because, again, I hate thinking that I'm the bad guy hurting people, but I do have some fun playing as like Plague. She barfs on people, or Nemesis, he punches people, and there's some silly stuff. But when I record my YouTube videos and stuff, I have fun. I turn it into something silly. I watch people like Demi Plays, Brain DBD, Smasher163, and I legitimately laugh my ass off. I have so much fun watching them, and there's something kind of relaxing about watching a 3 or 4 gen chase. It is so fun to watch. Even real talk, when I've had anxiety before, I've watched people do 3 or 4 gen chases, and it is one of the most relaxing things to do. It kind of puts you on the edge of your seat, but you're also relaxing. It's like, oh wow, like this person's really good. And I've gotten better watching people, and there's kind of a rush when you're the one doing the 3 or 4 gen chase. As a matter of fact, I just bought it on the Switch too. I played it in handheld mode, and I loved it because I'm like, I'm playing one of my favorite online games in the palm of my hands. This is really cool. So yeah, I think no matter how you play it, whether it's PC, PlayStation, or even Switch 2 on the handheld mode, you can't go wrong with DBD, and I'm happily wrong about it. Again, just a quick question here. I wanted to ask, when you guys watch horror movies, what makes you enjoy them? Do you see through the eyes of the killer or the survivor? Do you like feeling scared? Like, I genuinely want to know why people watch horror movies. I meant to ask this earlier in the video, but I forgot. But I wanted to slide it in there because I have to know. You guys in the comments, please tell me what makes you guys like horror movies, because I hate feeling afraid and I hate feeling antsy. So just let me know what the appeal is of horror movies. I'd really like to hear your take on it. Thank you. Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn. I mean, if you want to do a whole video on me being wrong about the 3DO and the Sega Saturn, that would take like 3 hours to freaking do. Back then, when Nights was being announced or being pushed, by Bernie Stoller, RIP. Bernie was making some very wild claims back then, and he was like, oh, this is the Mario killer, this is the Crash killer, we're putting all of our eggs in this basket. And I remember just going like, no, I won't like it. It's purple and it's weird and I don't even know what it's about and blah blah blah. And I finally played. I want to say I got it from my older brother as a gag gift. I bought him a Sega Saturn because we were PlayStation fans and we were N64 fans, and we kind of snubbed the Saturn, which was unfortunate for us. That was an L for us that we didn't even know about. Because it had so many freaking good games, like games that I wish I'd played. Clockwork Knight, the Daedalus Effect, Snatcher, Fighting Vipers. There's so many games that I wish I could have played. Daytona USA, I wish I could have gotten my hands on in the 90s had I maybe pushed my parents a little harder. But yeah, we kind of snubbed the Saturn. We snubbed Knights, and it wasn't until they re-released it and I got my hands on it and I played it. This game is amazing. The graphics are great. As a matter of fact, I try to be so faithful to the original. When I play the re-release of Knights, I only play it in Sega Saturn mode with the Sega Saturn graphics. None of the upgrades. I gotta play it the way it was, the way God intended for me to play it, and I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's beautiful. I love the music. It controls like a dream, no pun intended. I like the world that they built. I wish there were more Knights games. I wish Sega would take more of a risk and give them their own game again, because I think it's about time that people experience the world of Knights. And do I think it's a Mario 64 killer? I don't think so, but it didn't lose to Mario either. I would put it above Crash. I'm not really a Crash Bandicoot guy, sorry about that. But I'm definitely a Knights guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice Knights guy. It's a tongue twister. But yeah, Nights into Dreams, happily wrong about. I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this one. Red Dead Redemption. This is such a pet peeve of mine, and I don't know if I can even articulate this correctly. But in Rockstar games, I want to say from GTA 4 onward, they have this really weird run mechanic where you make your character run, and they do like this. Okay, so you make them run. They don't stop on the dime. They actually kind of do like this weird little trot, and they kind of go in like this little circle. Like nobody ever just stops. There's always like this really weird momentum that they keep running with. They never just stop, and it drives me up the wall. It doesn't feel right, and there's always like this weird circular motion. They can't just do like a quick turn or like turn around. They have to do an entire circle, and it feels so awkward. I don't know if anyone else has ever talked about it, but I absolutely hate the way these games control. And I also, sometimes games can be too realistic. Like my biggest problem with Red Dead Redemption 2 is it's boring. Online's fun, but I'm sorry, the storyline's boring. I'm doing chores and I'm paying a guy money for the camp. Like what is this commie western crap? Like it's so boring. I'm sorry. I know it's a moving story once you get past the chores, but I can't. Like I used to work 6 days a week for 7 years. The last thing I want to do is come home and play a western chore game. Like I could play Saloon Simulator. I don't need this. But on top of that, you get like these weird movements in the first one. Actually, in Red Dead Redemption 2 also. What kind of turned the tide for me was Undead Nightmare. I thought Undead Nightmare looked really cool, so I was like, okay. And if I remember correctly, you could get that on PS3 by itself. You didn't need Red Dead Redemption. So I remember buying Undead Nightmare. I think it was like $30. I got it digitally, and I thought it was so cool. I loved like roping the zombies and tying them up and going up and down to like Mexico and to Texas and stuff like that. And it won me over, and it got me used to the weird momentum circle controls of Red Dead. So then I went back and played the original, and I ended up really liking it. I like John Marston. The endings, of course, it's sad. But I mean, there's just so much to do. One of my favorite things to do in Red Dead Redemption, I love taking a train. Just take a train and you just sit on there and you watch the camera kind of zoom into John, and it kind of zooms out and you can see all this vast different wilderness, and sometimes I think it even snows and the train's just kind of chugging along. I could legit watch that for like an hour and not get tired of it. And that's just me watching it on YouTube. When I'm playing it, I get the same feels for it. I just, hunting's great. So yeah, I totally wrong that I was wrong. I don't know. I just think that Undead Nightmare pulled a lot of weight to get me back in there, and I'm glad I did get to finish it, and I'm glad I got to experience that train ride, because that was, to me, that was just so cool. I'm like, see, they should show you this stuff. But yeah, a lot of fun. Okay, now for the main event. This one I was keeping as the last. This one is the thumbnail, guys. All right, Death Stranding 1. Now, when I first, because it's Kojima, guys. I'm a huge Kojima fan. You can see the picture here, the autograph picture. I've got a Snatcher magnet on my fridge. I've got Kojima books. I have a crap ton of Metal Gear games. I've been retweeted by him for having really obscure Kojima games. I'm still trying to get my hands on Police Nuts and Snatcher. Back when he was doing PT, I unfortunately didn't have my PlayStation with me, my PS4. It was in storage, and my living situation didn't allow me to have a console in the house. My sister had one. I was able to play PT, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And of course, Kojima's a freaking genius. You can hear things through the microphone and the controller. It actually listens to you. I don't know if you guys know that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's got like Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro. You know, the little thing that just played when I said his name. Anyways, so I was pumped. I'm like, oh, Kojima wants to do horror. Kojima's kind of like me. We don't like horror, but somehow he ends up being very good at it. And then the whole debacle with Konami, he steps away, or so Python Selkin says, but there may be something else going on there. I don't know. You got to check out Python Selkin's theories for that. Shout out to his channel. I love him. But he ends up making Death Stranding. So I was on board for the hype. The hype was real for me. Kojima making a new game with no Konami ties and stuff like that. No Konami chains on him. I'm for it. I played the game. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Oh my god. I was confused. I remember streaming it, and at the time I'd got one of the biggest raids I'd ever gotten from Nat TV, and I was screaming on the inside because I was trying to figure out how the hell to get over this mountain, and I didn't know how to do it. I was so frustrated with the game. I interviewed this girl, and she was a big Death Stranding fan, and she was like, hey, can you just do me a favor? Can you download it again? Okay, sure. Download the game again, and she was a horrible navigator. She's trying to teach me the map system. Frustrated again, uninstalled it. So that's number 2. My PlayStation burns out. The only one that was left was a Death Stranding PlayStation. So I buy the Death Stranding PlayStation. I went, you know what? I owe it to Hideo Kojima. I'll try it again. Okay, play it again. Blah, whatever. And then one day, randomly on YouTube, I get recommended a video that said something along the lines of, you owe Death Stranding another chance. And so I clicked on it, and I thoroughly watched this thing. I don't remember the guy's video. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll try to link it in the comments. But he makes a case for why you should play the game again. And I watched him, and I watched the tips that he gave for navigating it, and the maps, and this and that. And that you basically go to the objective, you mark the objective, and you kind of pull it towards you. And once I got the hang of that, and like the claw guy on your back, I loved it. I thought it was great. And the part that, you know, turns off people about it and it gets made fun of is what makes it beautiful. It's the walk. It's the journey. It's prepping for the trip. And I love going through, like, there was one town I went through that had a bunch of BTs in there, and you have to hold your breath, and like the sound effects and the music that plays when they're there. I thought it was really cool, and you're holding your breath. And I had quite a few people watching me, and I had people telling me that they wanted to play Death Stranding because they saw me enjoying it. And the combat's really good too. Once you get used to it, and I always bring a briefcase with me, and I fling that sucker like Captain America's shield. It's so addicting. The combat's actually really good. And I love doing the bola gun. Like, you tie him up and you just kick him right in the head. It's so cool. They don't tell you all these little hidden things in the game. And you can spray the containers to make sure they're okay from the timefall rain. My favorite mission in the entire game, because I thought she was really cute, was the chiral artist. I thought she was really cute. I thought it was a lot of fun. That might have won me over officially, to the point where I bought a Funko Pop of Sam, and I bought Death Stranding 2. I got the deluxe edition. I kept the picture of Kojima, of course, and I gave my younger brother the statue. But yeah, Death Stranding, it took me 4 tries to get on the bandwagon, and I finally did. I finally did it, Hideo. I played your game. I saw what you wanted me to see. I loved the game. Sorry it took me so many tries, but I got on there. I got on the bandwagon. I'm so sorry about that it took me so long. But yeah, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. Hang in there. Again, map system, you just mark the objective and you literally draw the line to you. And after that, it's easy peasy. I promise. Alright guys, I think that's about it. This is my longest video yet. This is like pushing over 30 minutes, but I had a lot to say. I was very passionate about a lot of these games. You know what's funny? Fun fact with you guys, I don't have a script. I just write like the games on my list. You hear the paper kind of scrunching up there? I have, you know, the 7 games, and I just talk from the heart. And I think that's what resonates with you guys, is we're just kind of shooting the breeze. We're talking about games and what we love about them, and maybe some of the things we don't like, but in the end, it brings us together, and you guys encourage me to keep making these kinds of videos, and I'll keep doing it. But I really appreciate all of you guys, and let me know in the comments, were there any games that you were wrong about? Was there any game that you had to give a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th try to, and you finally got on there? If there was, I'd really love to hear your story. But yeah, till next time. See you later.